Get ready for killers to be reborn and for your childhood memories turn into nightmares as 2023's blend of horror sequels, reboots, and originals are poised to blow gore-hungry audiences away. The first horror movie coming out in 2023 is Megan, which is set to arrive on January 6th from director Gerard Johnstone and writers James Wan and Akilah Cooper, as well as producer Jason Blum. Wan and Cooper previously worked together on *Malignant*, while this is the second feature from Johnstone, who directed *Housebound* in 2014. Megan also marks Allison Williams' return to the horror spotlight after her chilling performance in *Get Out* in 2017. The premise is refreshing but familiar, as roboticist Gemma utilizes her knowledge of artificial intelligence to build a lifelike doll. It's reminiscent of the Child's Play remake from 2019, but Megan dares to shake things up by giving audiences a passionate depiction of survival between two people who deeply need each other. Of course, Gemma deciding to use her Megan prototype to help take care of her recently orphaned niece doesn't go well, and the results look to be a palpable tale of technology versus humans with horror tricks.
I won't let anything harm you.
The prospects of a new Evil Dead movie have been in the works since Fede Alvarez directed a soft reboot back in 2013. Even before then, there'd been rumblings about a new film for years, with Bruce Campbell set to reprise his role as Ash Williams. However, the 2013 edition was billed as a reimagining of the 1981 original, with Ash absent from the story. Instead, the reboot focused on new characters attempting to survive in a cabin, while supernatural monsters seek to possess and kill them. Now Lee Cronin has taken on the task of directing a fifth installment called Evil Dead Rise. The plot follows two sisters, Ellie and Beth, who must fight against flesh-hungry demons living in the deep pits below Ellie's Los Angeles apartment building. What makes the Evil Dead franchise so refreshing is how it always aims to reinvent itself. The 2013 version proved itself a worthy entry, so expectations for Evil Dead Rise are high ahead of its April release. Scream 6 is scheduled to hit theaters on March 10th, with the story continuing right where it left off in 2022's Scream, as sisters Sam and Tara and twins Mindy and Chad are attempting to put their lives back together as they leave Woodsboro for New York City. Scream 6 has garnered a lot of attention in recent months, specifically because of Neve Campbell declining to reprise her role as Sidney Prescott due to a failure to agree on a new contract. It's hard to imagine a Scream movie without Campbell, but we'll see what the new faces have to offer and how fellow longtime cast members Courtney Cox carries the franchise's legacy. Cox doesn't have to do it alone though, as she'll be joined by the returning Jenna Ortega as Tara, as well as series newcomer Samara Weaving. This also marks the first film in the franchise without David Arquette, whose character Dewey, spoiler alert, died in the last installment.
It's an honor.
By the time Insidious Fear the Dark hits theaters in July, it'll have been almost 5 years since Insidious The Last Key graced our screens. Franchise regulars Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, and Ty Simpkins are all set to reprise their roles as the Lambert family for the first time since Chapter 2 in 2013. And Wilson is also set to make his directorial debut with this new entry. Series creator Lee Warnell is also back, with a story by credits and also as one of the producers. Fear the Dark is set to continue the Lambert story, as Dalton is headed to college, with the lipstick-faced demon returning to bring his and his dad Josh's past into the present. The last two installments earned less than stellar reviews, so here's to hoping that this go-around can get the franchise back on track. The Haunted Mansion that's set to arrive in theaters on August 11th is neither a remake nor a sequel to the Haunted Mansion that came out in 2003. Instead, it's another separate adaptation of Disney's classic theme park ride. This updated version boasts a star-studded cast, with Rosario Dawson, Lakeith Stanfield, Owen Wilson, Winona Ryder, Danny DeVito, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tiffany Haddish, Jared Leto, and Dan Levy all on the call sheet. The story focuses on Dawson, a single mom Gabby, and her young son, who are hoping for a fresh start in life when they move into a New Orleans mansion that's possessed. And with Justin Simien, who directed Dear White People and Bad Hair, at the helm, the sky's the limit for this new take on a Disneyland classic. 5 years after the release of The Nun, James Wan is back with another installment in this Conjuring spin-off series, as he co-writes the story with Akilah Cooper. With director Michael Chaves at the helm, The Nun 2 serves as a prequel to The Conjuring 2, as it continues to explore the demonic secrets of the paranormal entity Valak. Taissa Farmiga returns as Sister Irene, who is once again tasked with battling Valak. Farmiga shined in her first outing in the Conjuring franchise, rivaling the work of her older sister Vera as Lorraine Warren. The nun struggled to please critics, but it made heaps of cash, raking in over $365 million at the box office. But a solid script could certainly deliver plenty of unforgettable frights this time around. So let's all plan to get back in the habit come September.
Amen.
There are some movies that are so legendary that they can never be remade, and 1973's The Exorcist certainly appears to be one of them. Luckily, David Gordon Green's 2023 Exorcist film, which is currently entitled, is meant to act as a direct sequel to the original, as opposed to a reboot. Set to hit theaters in October, the 2023 Exorcist is more than likely not going to garner quite the success its predecessor enjoyed 50 years ago. But writers Scott Teems, Danny McBride, Peter Sattler, and Green are all primed to approach this new installment in a similar fashion as the Halloween trilogy that concluded in 2022. The film will eliminate all other storylines that have occurred within the franchise since the original. The divisiveness of 2022's Halloween Ends may not bode well for Green and company, but it will be interesting to see what direction they take nevertheless. With Leslie Odom Jr., Ann Dowd, and original Exorcist star Ellen Burstyn all set to play key roles, 2023's Exorcist will do its best to possess audiences once again.
Is she gonna die?
No.
Saw has been a pillar in the horror genre since its inception in 2004, and every subsequent installment, no matter how silly or illogical, has brought something to the table to satisfy its devoted fanbase. The 2021 Saw spin-off Spiral found modest box office success, and it felt inevitable that a direct sequel would arrive. But that part of the universe now appears to be on the back burner. What Bell's return to the franchise means exactly for Saw X remains to be seen. John Kramer was supposedly killed off at the end of 2006's Saw 3, but Bell has returned in various flashbacks and dream sequences in the years since. Even though 2017's Jigsaw, the last Saw film with Bell, wasn't exactly well loved by critics, it managed to make its budget back 10 times over. Box office success in the face of critical derision has remained a consistency within the franchise, so Saw X should be expected to maintain the status quo. Not many upcoming horror movies have as much buzz as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, a grisly and gory take on the beloved children's book character. Winnie the Pooh became public domain in 2022, and with Disney no longer holding the exclusive rights to the source material, writer-director Reese Frake Waterfield set out to turn a beloved cartoon into a nightmare. The premise of Blood and Honey follows anthropomorphic versions of Pooh and Piglet descending into madness after Christopher Robin goes off to college. The two woodland creatures kill and eat Eeyore, and attempt to wreak havoc on humans after learning that Christopher is now married. Naturally enough, this includes attacking a cabin full of sorority girls. Blood and Honey initially garnered attention after a teaser was released in May 2022, and horror fans and Disney adults alike should be drawn to this reimagining. It's set to be released on February 15th as an exclusive event through its distribution company. Whatever your expectations regarding quality, Blood and Honey should be worth seeing for the shock factor alone.
Oh, bother.
The last Stephen King book to become a film was a 2022 remake of Firestarter, which was widely panned by critics. Hoping to get the cinematic world of King back on track, Rob Savage is helming The Boogeyman, based on King's 1978 short story of the same name that appeared in the author's collection Night Shift. If it stays true to its source material, The Boogeyman should follow two sisters who are haunted by a sadistic paranormal monster while grieving the death of their mother. This is one of King's lesser-known short stories, so Savage and company have a promising opportunity to bring prominence to an otherwise overlooked tale. The Boogeyman is not set for a theatrical release, as it's due instead for exclusive streaming on Hulu sometime in 2023. With a budding young cast that includes Madison Hugh and Sophie Thatcher, as well as a script from A Quiet Place's Scott Beck and Brian Woods, the promise is certainly there. Adapting Paul G. Tremblay's 2018 novel The Cabin at the End of the World, M. Night Shyamalan is back with Knock at the Cabin, an apocalyptic psychological horror film set to hit theaters in February. The story of Knock at the Cabin follows a family of 3 who are taken hostage by 4 friends with a lot of demands as the world is about to end. Tremblay's book is emotional, cutthroat, and merciless. How Shyamalan will translate that to the big screen is something to look forward to. The book also offers a lot of commentary on modern-day homophobia, so it will be interesting to see how that plays out in the adaptation. Overall, it's a story about paranoia, enduring love, and survival in the wake of disaster and sacrifice. Many of the ideas at play in Knock at the Cabin have been touched on before in other horror flicks, such as The Strangers and The Purge, but the apocalyptic element should hopefully offer a breath of fresh air.
The four of us are here to prevent the apocalypse.
Ty West and Mia Goth had an incredible 2022 together. After releasing X in March, it was quickly revealed via an after-credits teaser that West had also shot a prequel at the same time. That follow-up, Pearl, dazzled audiences even more than X. And when it hit theaters in September, it was then confirmed that a final film would arrive in 2023 to make it a trilogy. At the heart of the trilogy are two characters played by Goth. X introduced the elderly Pearl, who yearns for her lost vibrancy, and the young Maxine, a porn star and the daughter of a fundamentalist Christian preacher. While Pearl follows the origins of the antagonist who kills all of Maxine's friends in 1979, Maxine will pick up after the events of X to focus entirely on the title character. With a 1980s setting, West is certain to deliver a stylish time capsule of Reagan-era nostalgia, and another memorable performance out of Goth. A release date for Maxine hasn't been made official yet, and a more detailed premise is being kept under lock and key. All we have to hold us over for now is a short title card teaser that ran at the end of Pearl. Though the script is still in development, the fact that West was able to churn out X and Pearl within mere months of each other suggests that we can probably expect to see Maxine hit theaters before 2023 ends.